Namaskara. Darpan Foundation welcomes you to this evening, Upanishad with Guruji Nandkishore Tiwari. As you all know, today is Shivaratri, an auspicious day for seekers to come together. India has always been a land of seekers, and we have a tradition of asking questions. Questions here have always been encouraged. The word Upanishad is made up of two words, Upa and Nishad, meaning sitting beside. Traditionally, seekers looking for knowledge would sit beside Guru and ask their questions. And that is the essence of this evening. I'm sure we all have lots of questions. Please feel free to ask your questions towards the end of the session. Before commencing this session, let me take this opportunity to share Guruji's vision and Darpan's journey so far. Darpan's vision is broad and divided into 4 sections. The vision can be visualized as a blooming flower with 4 petals, each petal signifying body, mind, self, and soul. When we say body, it does not limit to the human body alone. It includes the environment around us. We cannot ignore or deny that the surrounding elements like air, soil, and water all affect our well-being. Darpan's natural farming module is an initiative and a movement to bring back purity in food by growing chemical-free grains, pulses, fruits, vegetables naturally. We have farm initiative programs like Each One Reach One and Sponsor a Field. Please meet Raghavan and Meenakshi at the end of the session to know more about this. Mind relates to the various activities we do. Mind, as they say, is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. As body needs pure food, mind also needs pure food. To nurture the mind, we have various programs for different age groups, namely Ignite Self, Life Touching Life, Teenage Sessions, etc. Ignite Self is about self-transformation and recognizing the highest potential in you. Life Touching Life encourages children to look at life from a different perspective through stories and activities. Teenage Sessions enable young minds to step out of their mindsets and explore reality. Pure Food for Self is about empowering people to make the right choices. Our proposed Gurukul and Skill Development Center is about to access to education, knowledge, and exposure to the right way of doing things, livelihood versus living. Pure Food for Soul is beyond explanation by words. It has to be experienced. It relates to individual transformation from consumer being to divine being. And this is possible by reordering our misplaced priorities in the right order. Our path Sahaj Smriti Yoga brings about this possibility in everyone's life. Many of you have been a part of the inauguration of the Darpan Ashram in October last year and have seen that more than 2,000 trees, including rare medicinal ones, have been planted. Tree species have been carefully selected to mirror the diversity present in nature. A prototype vegetable patch is being nurtured where more than 20 varieties of native Indian vegetables are grown completely the natural way using concoctions made from the dung and urine of native Indian cows. A pond for harvesting about 1 million liters of rainwater has been dug. This will not only help improve the groundwater level, but also provide a sustainable water resource, hence reducing the dependence on deep bore wells. A natural boundary wall has been constructed using indigenous rocks from the land itself. We have also engaged with the local government school in the following ways. We sponsor monthly salaries for volunteer teachers working in the school. We sponsor the cultural day and sports day at the school. We conduct extracurricular programs like dancing, singing, painting competitions for the children to encourage all-round learning. We sponsor sports uniform for the children, and we distribute stationery kits, educational and sports material to the school children. We encourage individuals like you and me and corporates through their CSR initiatives to be part of Darpan's school initiatives. To find out more, please connect with Raghavan and Meenakshi. Let us watch a short video on Darpan Foundation's journey so far. You have just seen Guruji's vision take practical shape. A few words about Guruji, though words are incapable of describing him. Guruji Nandkishore Tiwari is an extraordinarily simple person. He was born in Dhurkuru village in the Jhansi district of Uttar Pradesh. Guruji was a gifted child. At the age of 3, he showed interest in Ramcharitmanas and started meditation at very early stages of his childhood. Professionally, Guruji was a journalist and a distinguished editor, heading 3 editions of the national daily Hindi newspaper Rajasthan Patrika, and prior to that as feature editor with Dainik Bhaskar. Guruji has received the Acharya Chanakya Award 2018 for his invaluable contributions in the sphere of spirituality. Nimhans Bangalore has appointed Guruji as a philosopher and guide for the inclusion of spiritual perspective in the treatment of patients suffering mostly from addictions and mental diseases. Let us now move to the main agenda of the evening. The Bij mantra behind all our activities is spirituality. Why spirituality? Any social initiative can be sustained only by transformed individuals, and spirituality brings about this transformation. Today, Sheetal Shah will be conversing with Guruji. Sheetal is a freelance writer, anchor, and a voiceover artist actively engaged with Doordarshan and All India Radio. As Guruji says, let us sit in unison, restore purity, and explore reality. Now I invite Guruji, Guruma, and Sheetal to please light the lamp.
Right? So, okay, good. Are you fine?
Are we fine?
Yeah.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Guruji, could we
Yes,
hear
I
you?
can hear you.
Yeah.
It's okay?
So shall we begin?
Yeah. For me, I have no issue, but people are listening or not?
In fact, Guruji just needs to share his aura. He'll be audible everywhere, even without that. Okay, very good evening, friends. Happy Shivratri. What a day we are here today. I mean, auspicious in every way. Well, a school of thought says Shivaratri, the night of staying awake. Another school of thought says night of awakening. In fact, what better day can it be that we are in the presence of the Guruji, the learned person, and let's share, let's gather all that we can, the pearls of wisdom from you. So first of all, Guruji, thanks for this opportunity. Friends, let me just tell one thing. I don't even know whether I qualify to sit here and talk to him, but as a seeker, as a disciple, as your student, representing all of them, let's have the conversation. So let's begin the conversation. Let's just give it up for Guruji. Let's clap it up for him. And thank you. And with all surrender, Guruji, let's begin. So when we say night of awakening or staying awake, please demystify the word awakening for us.
अखण्डमण्डलाकार व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाख्या चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। First of all, I am very happy to see you all gathered here, because in today's life, it is a luxury to attend satsang. So many souls, all are craving for satsangs. They might be sitting just 10 feet away, but they can't come here. So consider yourself fortunate, and this is, I am telling you, anytime and anywhere you go in satsang, you will experience this. So you are most wealthiest persons on earth in this sense. So always cherish your prosperity. Prosperity is not something outside. It is what you are living inside. And what can be better than you are with the truth, with a satsang, with the truth. So if you can afford to be in that association, you definitely are one of the prosperous persons. Those are living on the earth at this point of time. You can verify it by yourself. Now, as Deepti has asked this question, and this question comes into everyone's mind who is seeking, that how to differentiate between awakening, awareness, consciousness, knowledge. All these words, how to differentiate that what is sleeping and what is awakening. So simple, any scripture you read, we are very rich in this land, that any scripture you pick up, they will give you the remedy for this, that what is awakening and what is sleeping. So he said that the one By knowing him, this world disappears. That is called awakening. So you all are there. Now you have to be very careful while we are listening, because our tool is primarily language, and I am trying to speak you Sanskrit in English. So my trouble is more. So you have to be cooperative. If you are not understanding a thing, you can raise your hand and I'll explain it again. Because my idea is, when you go back from here, either you should have gone at least one step down within yourself, or at least you should have gathered something to deal with the world in a better way. Something on the apparent level you should receive, that now I can deal with my surroundings, my all relations better. Something I have got, that this makes me understand myself better and the other relations in same light. So something practical, and if you are seeker, you must reach at least one step within yourself. So that is why, since the language is foreign, it is our, what you call, it's a fate, that all of this language we have to speak, which is not a native language, which is not our own language, but we have to communicate to our people through a foreign language. So that is a limitation. It is not that language is bad. It is what we are saying, we can't converse with our people in our own language. So coming back to the question, what is awakening? So it says that Jehi jane jag jaye hirai, by knowing which this world disappears. As Merlin has mentioned about Ramcharitmanas, so whenever I have to give an example, I go to that Ramcharitmanas. Because every example which is there in the world, our history, Ramayana and Mahabharata are like that. That any life conditions, you have a lightning point there, enlightening point there, very clearly, that will give you that this is it. Everything is available, whatever so we call that not history. There is difference between history and eternal history. That is history of human heart, which never is dated. You cannot place it onto the date that at that point of time this happened and this happened. That is will be very selective knowledge. So that is one way difference between knowledge and awakening. Once you come to realize this, that what you reach through facts, that remains knowledge more or less. In Sanskrit we say tathya or satya. We all are here, that is a fact, tathya hai. Suppose some of you are thinking back about your home, then truth will be that you are not here. सत्य ये होगा कि आप यहाँ नहीं हो. So that way it is a knowledge. We say roughly what is derived from facts, which can be verified materially, physically by others. That we call knowledge. And something which is going as truth inside you, that leads us to awakening.
Okay.
So, Jehi jane jag jaye hirai. You reach to that awakening where you see that world as it has disappeared. Now it will not disappear factually, but in your realization it will disappear. That it is there, but it is not there. So that is what we call awakening. When you reach to that clarity, that you and I appearing to one another. But this is knowledge. Awakening is when we know that we are eternally there. Everything is just an appearance which keeps changing forms.
So Guruji, that means that we all are so lucky. We are living in times where technology and information is available at fingertips. But information cannot be equivalent to knowledge. And that's where I guess there's a requirement, the role of a guru is so important. So can you just tell us a little more? Now all of us we know guru is important as terms of the way Indian ancient wisdom says. But can you tell us a little more about the difference between the so-called we have teachers? In fact, today we are in the times where virtual teachers are there. Without teachers, students can get information and the so-called education. But the role of a guru. So I'm sure all of us would like to know a little more. The role of a guru who can help us to awakening or enlightenment, all that different stages. But right now, the role of a guru. Please tell us more about that.
I said in the beginning, the sloka I read, that means truth is omnipresent and it is like akhanda mandalakar. It is not fragmented. It is one only. Knowledge is only one. It is spread everywhere, but we can't see it. So when we assume somebody a guru, how we assume? There is a journey. When we go and associate it with someone, we sit for long times, we tell about ourselves and then we listen and then we come to a decision, okay, here is truth. So as all these words are related, awakening is about truth. We are saying that we keep piercing one by one and reach to the truth. So everything is about truth in the beginning. So Guru's role is, in one sentence, the person who knows difference between what is truth and what is untruth.
Okay.
No, you can say, I also know. People generally this is a notion because I can also know what is truth and what is not. But that is what the mistake is made. Because appearance, imagination, all these things, if you consider truth, then you are far, far away from the truth. So you can know something, but truth only whom God is willing. Guru is a pad. Pad in the sense, he says, akhand mandalakar vyaptan yen charachara tat padam darsitam yen tasmai Shri Guru Benama. The one who can see that pad. Here it is not some position or some thing. It is a kind of condition. It is a kind of stage. Have you reached there? So if somebody has reached there, and that stage where he is given that awakening, that he all the time, whether sleeping, awake or walking, talking, all the time he can differentiate between what is truth and what is untruth.
Right.
So that person we call Guru.
Right.
So there is no person as such a Guru. This is a big thing which people get confused.
Right.
In one sentence I am saying the person who knows the difference between truth and untruth is Guru, and second sentence without taking another breath I am saying there is no person who is a Guru.
Right.
Guru is only one. Everything which goes towards the finer layers of reality, it keeps becoming one and one. So who has become so much attained in that oneness that to others he start appearing as epitome of truth, that he knows truth. So to seek the truth,
Right.
to differentiate between what is true and what is untrue, we need help of a Guru.
Right.
And that is where there is no other agency. So when we say, no, he is my chemistry Guru, he is my physics Guru, which is a misnomer. Guru is only spiritual. All others are teacher.
Right.
Because word meaning, look at the Guru. So many meanings are there, but Guru means the one who removes the andhakar, the darkness.
Right.
And darkness, as here we are saying, is ignorance. So one who is lit, because of his being lit, darkness cannot come there. So we go and sit there and then we also get lit. So by our own experience, when we associate, so I say do not fall instantly at somebody's feet.
Right.
Please associate with person whom you think that here is a possibility of attaining knowledge, maybe there is something there. Go associate. Jab bahukal kariye satsanga. When for a prolonged period you do the satsang, tab hoye yeh sansay bhanga. Then only your ignorance will go. Sansay means doubt. That what is truth or what is not, first you have to see whether person knows difference or not. Then only you can be lit. If the person is not lit, how will you get the light? So by associating, observing, if you buy a 10 rupee thing in the market, 10 times you ask what are these qualities, and to the Guru whom you are going to hand over your soul, you just fall flat like this. It is not fair. See from all angles, verify, like Meera says, मैं तो लियो री बजनता ढोल. I have seen it from all angles that this drum beats very fine. कोई कहे ठग लियो. Somebody is saying that I got cheated or I have been misled, but I am very clear that I have got what I wanted to for my welfare. So that is the need to know that what is truth and what is not. Then choice is ours, whether we want to stick to the truth or want fall back. So Guru will never take your freedom. He will always say, every moment you are free. You can run away the moment you want to run. You need not tell also why have you run away. And after 10 births you can come back. Again Guru will not ask why have you come back, because he knows you have nowhere to go. Who is everywhere, where can we run away from him? So for him,
Right.
so when such a person is there, that is why we call all the qualities which we apply in our, through our scriptures or knowledge or whatever parents given
Right.
about God, little more we apply to the Guru, and that is the mystery part of it.
That's very interesting, Guruji, what you're saying, because in today's times, and especially with so much of media awareness and social media coming in, we get to know that sometimes a few terms could get misleading. Okay, so as you said, it's very interesting that, parakh lo pehle aur fir guru mano. I mean, so that's very interesting. I guess that is a testing thing. But as a seeker, if I were to kind of ask you, like as a seeker, what should I do to understand and know that yes, this is my guru? Now, for example, if I want to listen to a radio, I know I want to listen to say FM 102.9. I tune into that, and I know I'm going to listen to what I want to hear. That's my frequency. But if I have to tune into the frequency of my guru, what are those things what I apply to get to know yes, it's my guru?
So Guru Shishya relationship is a very individual relationship. It is not a mass reality, as I keep saying.
Right.
That you are not initiated en mass. It is individual relationship.
Right.
You go and ask your questions. When you go to a person, you get satisfied by the solutions given. From our side as a disciple, only one chief quality is there, that you should open up your heart. Guru is not an intellectual who will tell you certain things, that what happened in what period. No, that may be because some profession he has got some exposure. We go to open our heart, because the place seat of the divinity within you.
Right.
As is written, I say, this is the only thing, if you call teaching, assume other divine, know thyself as one, either you are one or none.
Yes.
This is all, whole life, 10 life people are sitting, I have, no, this is the only thing I have. If you call teaching, this is the only thing I have to teach, nothing else is there to teach. So, seat of divinity, your real self, the seeker you, is within your heart.
Right.
If you find a person that to this person I can open my heart, when you open your heart, there is a possibility a person is not correct, you may get hurt. You understand? Then that person is not your guru. Because if he is guru, he will make your heart capable first. That whatever is wrong with you, how to correct it, you should become capable to handle that. Like Kabir says that, Guru Kumar sis kumbh hai gadgad kaale khot, andar haath sahay de, bahar bahe chot. Like when you make earlier, now to these days they are hardly making, and our children are not even exposed to many of them, how they made these earthen pitchers.
Pots.
Pots. They are making the pitcher, and what they do, the white pot making, that workman, what he does, he places one hand inside the pot, and then slowly he keeps it beating and makes it into a correct shape.
Right, that's very interesting. Yes.
हाँ.
So एक हाथ से support कर रहे हैं और दूसरे हाथ से mold कर रहे हैं.
So as a seeker, we just have to open ourselves out, that this is where I am feeling. So when you with association, many times you go, and when you are every time you are finding the same results, then please stick, then don't run away, because then you are lying to yourself. So as a seeker, we just have to open our heart. That is the only qualification. So it's a pranipaten pariprashnen. Just go and say namaste and open your heart. And if it is not heart, it is filled with joy, it is filled with happiness, then go again. So that way, then it may develop into a relation. There are 4 stages generally: arth, artharthi, jigyasu, jnani. These are. So real disciple begins after they become jnani.
Okay.
Seeker is only intermediary stage. Generally, we look for divinity or such thing when we are in distress. So that is stage number 1. If distress is over, relationship with divinity is over, postponed for the next time. Then there is artharthi. No, now everything is running fine. Now I want some respect in the society, something wealth to be known. Second stage you go. Suppose you have been given some award or something. Okay, God is fine, I am also fine. We'll take later. Suppose somehow you come to know, no, this is also an appearance only for some time, it is going to last. Then you move to the seeker stage, because you know the difference between, little bit of difference between what is appearance and what is reality and what is imagination. Because most of the award, how many people you and I know that they have been awarded for this or that? In their imagination, they are thinking whole world is knowing.
Right.
And whole world is thinking that I got awarded this Nobel Prize or that Nobel Prize. Maybe their children are not thinking about it if they are not a good human being.
Right.
So that is the stage of being artharthi. And then when this is washed up, no, then somebody like Schopenhauer or Einstein or such people, they wake up to the reality. Oh, I got only a drop in the ocean and my life is gone into it. And we make hero out of them for what they have done, because they have done good work. But what is their stage? They reach just to the seeker's stage. Realizing this, oh, this life is gone into this, and I am also gone with this. Again, I will take birth whether I will get a human frame or not. Because you can realize only in human frame. Neither above nor down. Nor are divine beings, we call ethereal beings, capable of realization, nor are below this. Only this
Human
stage
form.
is there.
So I think it's very interesting what Guruji says, the different levels of transition, and that means we are not even qualified to be called seekers, because we are still at a very, very internship stage, I guess, let's say. So right now we are at least at the stage where we know that we do not know so many things. So thank you for bringing that to our knowledge, that we need to know so many things. I guess that's the beauty of being in India. I guess the essence of the Guru, I think only our motherland, our India has it. And as you rightly said, Guruji, that we have so many richness and scriptures, so many scriptures and the richness in it. You mentioned about Ramcharitramanas. So in fact, let's talk about Upanishad. In fact, that's the thing we are here today for. So the core of our discussion. So please demystify the word and the essence of it.
So as Merlin spoke in the beginning, that this is composed of two words, Upanishad. And if we go into the meaning, Sanskrit is such a language. See, there is one difference. Sanskrit is an attributive language. It tells attribute of a thing. Like this camera is here, this we call tipoi. If anything which has 3 legs, that will be called tripoi. Like we say chopaya. Cow is also chopaya. Chair is also chopaya. Means it depends on the context what we are speaking.
Right.
So Upanishad words, there can be as many interpretation of this word, because it's a very deep word. So instead of going horizontal, I will come to that you by few words you get the meaning clearly. So Upanishad, as he said, that is the beginning meaning, that you sit near somebody. Now like yoga, any up means not exactly same thing but little bit lower. Up. Upayog. So anything which is up means secondary. So when we sit near Guru, it is Upanishad is sitting before a knowledgeable person. So only in this country, this tradition of the Guru Parampara has been there. We call it is sometimes I tell this that it is a misnomer to call Sanatan Dharma. It is Sanatan Guru Parampara basically. Because Dharma is different for every individual. Whatever you are capable of upholding, that is your Dharma. Swadharmam nidhanam sreshtam paradharmo bhayavaya. Very clearly, Swa is yourself. If you can uphold, that is the Dharma for you. So it is Dharma. So where from it comes? When we sit near somebody and try to, because as a child we are not aware. So then your Upanayan happens, then you are introduced. Upanayan, again up word comes there. Nayan means eye. This means now your new eye has been opened up. Earlier you were seeing only by physical eye, now you have become an initiate to see through the eye of your intelligence. You are being taught into, so open nayan. Now your new nayan, another eye has come. Through whose eye is that? That is Guru's eyes. Because they used to study in Gurukul, stay there with Guru. So they are imbibing every moment. It is not only through text or class. They are living and seeing. So there was no difference in our culture, Indian culture, between livelihood and living. They were both part. Now that disjoint is so big. That is why people are in distress. Because their living requires something else and their livelihoods demands are something else. Unnecessarily they are under so much distress. So this Upanishad means sitting in communion with somebody whom we consider knowledgeable. So this has been why this came. See, if we look at our antiquity, earlier it was, we say, Vedas only. Ved means knowledge. Now Ved then they became Vedas. From one, knowledge is only one. Then they made into four. Then people somehow became not capable of attaining to that reality. It was very difficult for them. So then came the Upanishad. That now one could decipher the meaning and tell that how to do it easily. So they started doing it. And this confusion, I say, where is the root of this confusion? Why this all is there? See, we in India, we are very clear that we are of divine origin. We are Amritasya Putra. We are not mortal beings. We are divine beings who are undergoing a human experience. This is clear to Indian tradition. In other traditions, they are approaching other way around. That we are basically human being. Maybe we could be divine also, or may not be. But we are very clear. Amritasya Putra Vayam. That is the Vedic tradition. Ved means knowledge tradition. That we are basically divine beings. So this confusion arises because one stream of our formal education, what we are, that is telling, no, you are evolving from monkey to this and to this is how you are evolving. So this confusion comes because two streams of knowledge, दो दृष्टियों की टकराहट, two, you are seeing from east, I am seeing from west, then you are seeing me, I am seeing you. It's not seen completely. So if that complete vision, which is a spiritual vision, that tells you that you are immortal, that experience when you undergo, you know very well, as we are saying, coming back to the same only, that when this experience becomes very clear to you, that this all which you are here is just an appearance for some time. No, this is everybody's knowledge. But when this becomes experience, knowledge is there. Factually, we are seeing people dying every day, passing away. So it is not I am telling you something that you didn't know. Everybody is knowing that. But how to make it a living experience? Because your behavior will change towards the other only when you are living that experience. That no, this is for temporary period. Then will you value those things which are temporary over the permanent one? Because you, deeper you, are going to stay with you always, eternally. This will keep changing. So for the changing one, you will not sacrifice what is needed for the eternal one. And for the eternal one, what is needed? That here you behave properly with the other person. That is minimum condition. So Upanishad in that sense is that only when there is one person who is, we consider that he is capable of imparting knowledge to us, and we sit Upanishad, uske paas baith ke, then, and then in that sense, who is that person? We are saying that we have assumed somebody. Because when we say Namaste, we are saying everybody is divine. And simply, but in somebody that light is very clear. So that we get enlightened. Our, which is divinity within us, rearing for its experience, when we go to such a person, sit alone one by one, then that gets kindled. So we call it Upanishad. When we sit near somebody, so many Upanishads have been written. It begins with, look, Shiva Parvati is considered the first one, that when she asked the question and he replied.
Right.
Then with any disciple sitting with Guru, that becomes Upanishad. These people, our associate, they have made a calendar, there are 12 points into it. That is an Upanishad complete in itself. So any disciple sitting beside Guru and asking his question truthfully and chronicling it, that this is how I traveled and reached to my own realization, that becomes Upanishad.
So you mean to say, Guruji, Upanishad basically it becomes like collection of knowledge, or the learned people what they are sharing, their sharings or knowledge is kind of taken as a collection of Upanishad. Is it basically that?
Three things are there. One is field of understanding, another is field of experience, and third is field of feeling. These are field within you.
Okay.
You are a person who is composed of 16 kalas.
Soul kala, solar kala.
You call them field, anything that from one field you, or consciousness levels, whatever you want to call them. Every one of us have that, because we say Ishwaransa Jiva Vinasi. You are the part of the same divine who has that, so you also have. So this collection of knowledge and experience, this is limited till the field of understanding. How you decipher world around you which is appearing. Knowledgeable one says that this world is only appearance. This is not true, but it is not an illusion either. It is there, but it is not true. So knowing this is the field of understanding world, which we call, it is another word for knowledge. Understanding, you decipher how a physician is looking at your health and telling, a biologist in different way, somebody is telling about how the chemistry works, somebody is telling how it physically works. Here, how human being works. If you are going for spiritual realization, your only first beginning thing is that how to deal with myself, who am I, how to begin.
Right.
So you start understanding that. He will tell you 2 steps. Please explore this.
Right.
Then come back. Then you say, okay, I observed, I found it like this, what next? And if you find any difficulty, then you come back and say, no, this is not working with me, what is there? Then you are giving again that what did not work.
Right.
So that is understanding. When understanding is complete, then you become an individual. What is understanding complete? 4 things I tell. Shok, Moh, Sandeh, Bhram. Means in English, it is anxiety or distress. Moh, ignorance. Doubt, Sandeh, Bhram, illusion. When these 4 things are over for you forever, then you become individual. Till then you are not individual, you are a running physical being. Individual means which cannot be divided any further. This is English word. In Hindi we say corresponding to Vyakti. Now you are fully expressed, Vyakt ho gaya. Ab Vyakt the, when you die, you pass away, you become unseen to the people. But you are there eternally. So you have become Abhyakt. Now you have become Vyakt, so you have become Vyakti. Now Vyakti, when he has become perfect, has he become individual, Vyakti. That means he will not have Shok, Moh, Sandeh, Bhram. These 4 things will not be. So it is device given by Guru. That's why I say if you go back, you should have something to test yourself. So if you want to know, you need not go to any lab or to Guru. This is very beginning thing I am telling. Just see yourself whether you have any 4 of these any moment of your life. If you have, then run for the Guru. Because it is him only who has cure for this. Nobody else in this world has cure for all these. Only Guru has cure for all these. For none else is qualified. Because he, as we are saying, he only knows what is truth and what is not. So if he is there, then we can go away from this. So another field is, then begins the field of experience. Till then, you may be hallucinating, but you will not be having an experience. Because you yourself are run by all these 4 things. So you are not an individual.
Right.
So when you become individual, then whatever next person is saying, you will not listen. Because now you have become individual and you are going by your own experience. I experience this, what the other person is saying, I am not bothered. So then it is experience.
Right.
Now once you become individual and you have own experiences, then you are changed. Then you can be empowered to choose. Till then you are not in a position to choose even. You are not empowered, as the Merlin was saying in the beginning. She said very correctly that empower to choose. Self-transformation makes you empowered to choose.
Right.
Otherwise, you are incapable to choose. So you have to understand these things very deeply. You say, no, there was mango and there was banana, I choose to eat the mango. This is not choice. That was things were available to you, you just picked up once. Choice is when you know what it is going to do to you. Then whole world is selling you a rotten banana. You refuse to say, no, I will better go hungry one day. But I will not eat. But is it happening today? You are eating such a food from the market. Why we had to do all this? You are eating such a food which you never want to eat. But there is nothing available pure. So you are compelled. It's under compulsion your life is. So you are earning lakhs and crores and you are still living a compulsory life. So are you free? Are you free to choose? If you start asking real questions to you, you will shudder that what for you have been living. This life has gone waste so far. So you just, as we say, you close your eyes when distress is over. No, God will take care. No, you will have to undergo your destiny. If you do not choose, then circumstances will throw choices onto you. You will have to compulsorily take one and move on. So experience. You reach to the individual stage, then when you become capable of choosing, then you usher in towards the field of feel. And that is the last field. Feel is verily another name of, you call it God, Ishwar, Guru, whatever you want to say. That is the last field, that is our last approach as a human being, and there is nothing beyond that. It is complete. Once you have touched to that field, you have entered there, you have entered infinity. And infinity, as the word says, is anant, there is no end to it. So that is end of all ends when you reach there. So contradiction in terms.
Absolutely.
But you cannot tell your experiences, I am saying. You can only tell your understanding to each other.
Right. So essentially, Guruji, you are telling that we have knowledge that leads to experience, and experience curated over a certain period of time can become feeling.
Correct.
And again, when you say feeling, there are different levels, and of course,
Yes.
it's by itself, it's a
Yes,
very big thing to do. But something very interesting over the period what we have spoken so far. If Darwin was to meet Adi Shankaracharya, Darwin would say, if I were to ask both of them, who am I? So Darwin would say theory of evolution. So from monkey to you've become whatever you are. And if Shankaracharya, I asked him, who am I? Like Shivoham, Shivoham. A very beautiful thing. So here again, that thing comes in. If I were to ask, who am I? There is a scientific explanation also, and there could be a spiritual dimension to it also. So let's put it this way, as a lay person, we would want to know, all of us, let's begin somewhere. Who am I? We start off. So what's the beginning stage, Guruji? What would you say?
See, this is, it reminds me when you ask this question, this is the first Brahma Sutra. There is Prasthantrayi. When people came down from Veda's knowledge, then they came to the Upanishadic period, and then they came to this we call Prasthantrayi. 3 things they took. Upanishads, knowledge, they condensed Upanishad, or because Upanishad, as I told you, can be as many of you are sitting. If all of you sit with your Guru, you will produce one Upanishad. So what can be the number? You cannot imagine. If somebody is saying 310, somebody is telling no 316, somebody 108. No, they have consolidated that even if you read these 108, you will get the same thing to understand what it is. So Upanishad, that way it is in Prasthantrayi, one is Brahma Sutra. So this is the first Brahma Sutra, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. That first you want to know who am I. That is the beginning. So this is eternal question. Question people are not asking. This is the question they should ask. So then there comes the Guru, he says, who I am that you are. Tattvam asi.
Tatvamasi.
What I am that you are. So then he says, no, you have told, but I am I and you are you. Then your question answer session begins and your Upanishad begins. Then you one by one you decipher that how, despite appearing to be two, how we are one. Despite appearing to be many, how we are one. So these are very formula form they have given. These are realization. You cannot translate them. He says, Ekoham Bahushyami. Now I can speak whole life on this. Ekoham Bahushyami. I am only one, I became many. Now if I talk one by one to each of you, I may take so many janmas to tell you what is this means. Ekoham Bahushyami. Then he says, Satyam Ekam Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. Truth is only one. Knowledgeable ones are telling or realized ones are telling in different ways. Why these different ways? Because a consciousness comes at its time, when its time is there.
Okay.
That this time people are craving for knowledge and language is changing. To give an example, as you mentioned, first of all, people know a little. Darwin, we know him for biology and botany and evolution. We quote so much only one, what? Survival of the fittest. Anywhere you go, even sociology also they have put there, survival of the fittest. It is you are using as if you open up your laptop or something, you are using a hammer, big hammer. It is like that. You are applying in a different place, which is not
Right.
there.
Yes.
Darwin also said only human being is capable of loving. Who is reading this about the Darwin? If you see his all knowledge, what he has given in other fields through this lens, then you will see it differently. Because you are capable of loving, so you take care of the whole species which is available in this creation. Now if you see it from what the way people are seeing survival of the fittest, then suppose there is only 10 things to eat, then you and I start beating each other. Survival of the fittest. But if you look from that angle, which he is saying, no, my vision is that only human being is capable of loving. He is so wonderful. Then you start giving to other. Please first you take. Because in love you care for the other. That is how we define. That to the one whom you care, that is shows that you are loving another person. So this question at the Adi Shankara's time, what happened? People have forgotten, they were so much have become ritualistic. They were following rituals and not knowing like this. So he appeared at that time as a consciousness because all are the appearance of the same being. Guru is only one. What is needed at the time, that appearance appears and does the work and goes back. So he came at that time and he was gone. Destiny made him go in such a path, such a way that became example for others. Like he meets, as we say, that very Chandal's story. He meets the Chandal. No, people interpret it in such a wrong way. Thing is that he met there. So he is asking, go away from my path because you are untouchable. So he says, no, you go from my path because you are untouchable. So then he is suddenly saying, how? They said, you are saying, you have read all the scriptures and you are saying, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, Shivoham, there is only one. And to me, I have become different. I have become Chandal. But I know as a Chandal that you and I are one. So you run away. You are lower than me. Why this example has been put? This example has been put to remove this, which was becoming very, very important part, which should not have become of that time, that contemporary society. This casteism, caste word was not there, but people have taken ritual for the truth. So he was breaking all. First of all, he breaks from who was considered lowliest, Brumar. Chandal, it used to broom, that no, he is also Brahma. So that example happened to make that realization to all of us later period. He meets Mandan Mishra, so he demolishes, no, this Karm Kand is not the one which will lead you to the reality. It is the realization, the real knowledge, how you live, that will lead you to the realization. So you have to ask the basic question. So at that time, he gave the mantra that all are the same. There is no difference between Ishvara and Jiva. So that was his basic tenet, that Jiva and the Shiva are basically one.
Yes.
Because earlier that was there, no, I have to attain to someone. No. You and that one are the same, only you have not realized. So Jiva and Shiva is one. Then so much period, then again there comes a Vivekananda. Because then again the darkness was there. So he says, now people are not understanding. If I tell them that you and I are one, then the intellectual, they say it sounds very good. Yes, I also know you and I are one, I can prove to you. What you think, I think. What you do, I do. So he said, no, it is again gone to the understanding level. It has again come back to the level of understanding. It is not reaching to the experience. So he says, Daridra Narayan ki seva karo. Then you start caring for the lowliest of the low who is in distress. Kuch to qualities will come within you to serve. When those qualities you are facing one on one, some divinity will awake in you. So you will reach to the same realization. It is not, he was just saying the same thing what Shankar said in different words. And that is how this Sanatan Parampara is. Sanatan means that only, which has no beginning and no end. That is how it is. So anytime we need something, awakening, somebody comes there and look, this is the path for you. You go through this and you will attain to the same.
So essentially, Guruji, you are trying to tell that truth is eternal. Satya jo hai eternal hai. But with time, the maybe say interpretation of it or value of it changes. Are you trying to tell that? That with time and like say for example, the truth we know, Vishwa Kutumbakam, that's what we say, right? I mean, but when you look at, maybe it's a very silly example, it's not relevant for this particular thing, but now what's happening between India and Pakistan, let's put it this way. And we know the kind of tempers and what people are, I mean, they're just forgetting the essence of what we say, that the whole world is one, etc. Because the truth is that the way they are doing, the reaction or the action has to be taken against that or whatever. Latest thing is when our fighter pilot was there, and of course with whatever circumstances he has come back. And the truth is that their own people thought that their fighter was someone else, and they hit him and they beat him to death. But let's put it this way, that the truth is there, it's eternal, that yeah, the whole world is one. But now applying that at this point in time, I think it's an exception. What do you say to this particular thing now?
See, this is true that truth is only one. And there are 6 ways, 7th way is answer. There are 6 ways to ask questions. So there is field difference. Okay. This is when we say Vasudha Kutumbakam, we are in fact not qualified to say. I will tell you how.
Why?
If you say Vasudha Kutumbakam, this is my family, USA is my family, so they should not ask me an visa and passport, I should go to my family.
Okay.
But they will not let me enter their country. Right. So that means an apparent level, it is not possible. So this Vasudha Kutumbakam, only that one is qualified who has reached to that realization.
At a higher level, you see.
He has reached to that realization.
Okay.
And that only he can say to the other person who has also reached to that realization. Okay. Then only it will make sense. And funnily, when that also knows and this also knows, why does he has to say that Vasudha Kutumbakam? No need. So realizations, these formulae, they are realizations of the people. They are not something to be applied on lower field.
Okay.
So we as a society,
right,
I am speaking in terms of global society.
Okay.
We have not reached to that stage of awakening where we can say Vasudha Kutumbakam in reality.
Okay.
We should keep it as an ideal because this is our tradition.
Right.
This is our realization that Vasudha Kutumbakam. We cannot leave our legacy.
Okay.
We have to preserve that because that is the best available in the world. But we cannot say that we can apply it on the understanding level. That has to be where its field is. It's the field of feeling. Only God can say that Vasudha Kutumbakam. My family is whole world is my family. Who can enshrine whole family? Anybody lower than that, is he qualified? These days what is happening is the person who is not qualified to say a thing, he is saying expression, freedom of expression. You cannot shut somebody's mouth. No, I am not saying that people should not speak. They should speak with caution.
Okay.
That in the spirit of seeking, that what they are seeing is right or not. And they should, when it is proved to them that it is not correct, they should come back. So there are 6 ways I was saying
Yes.
to ask questions. What? You ask. Why? So these 2 questions only you can ask materially. These questions you should not ask spiritually. Spiritually you ask only who and how. Because these questions are not in that field.
Okay.
There is field limitation. Like you cannot row a boat on ground. You need water.
Correct. Okay.
Here boat will also get harmed and the floor will also get. In water both go smoothly.
Right.
So how and who? They are the questions of spiritual field. What and why? Material. Where and when? This is intermediary. Where matter changes into spirit and spirit changes into matter. And which, the 7th one, is recognizing who is my Guru.
Okay.
That is the which part of it. Because there only you will go in the direction, right direction.
Right.
So that is where it comes to, that we have to, as you mentioned, the India, Pakistan. Truth, see, first of all, when we speak a thing, it is my role when you are listening to me so keenly to at least define it. So let me define truth for you so that we feel that we are on the same page. And if any one of you disagree to it, please raise your hand and ask your question. So I am giving you definition of the truth. Truth is which is always there. This is cardinal definition of truth.
Which is always there. Okay.
That which is, that who is, that whatever you want to call is always there.
Okay.
So it comes to the second question. Every question can make you a seeker. That so all of us are going to pass away after some time. So none of us are truth. Because it's not going to be there. That is how you become a seeker. Then you say, then who am I? Then will come question. Then comes the role of Guru. He says, yes, you are temporary and transient like the article 370, but in this period you can attain to the truth. While you are being transient and temporary in this part, because you have one qualification, that you have a human frame. Only 3 things are needed to realization. Human frame, inclination to reach to your reality, and proximity to a Guru. Nothing else is needed. So at least one thing I am seeing is there. Inclination if you generate to know the truth. If you run away from the truth, then you run away from the truth. But truth will not leave you alone. Take it from me. It will catch up when it times come. It cannot leave you alone. You may run away. So that is how it is. That truth is eternal.
Right.
So if something which is eternal, that alone is truth. So begin from that. Then only the seeking begins. So we go to the person who knows the difference between truth and untruth. That is why we call Guru is only spiritual. Please, in this country, try to do this pratishtha. The Guru Shishya relationship in this country has seen a very low. It should reach to its real place. Only thing in a Guru as a human being required is character, not knowledge. Knowledge will automatically come. It is already available. His Guru will seek him, the one who has become like this, that now you have become capable, you need to be filled. Don't look for knowledge, look for the character, maintain your character. And that is how it is. And you will become, your Guru will search for you. Somehow it will happen that you will reach there. So truth's journey will begin from there. So that is, in this current scenario, you are saying people are fighting because they did not welcome the reality. When I say truth is eternal, it is always there, that is only called truth, then can in the contemporary scene, truth can run away from somewhere. तो हम वर्तमान का अभिनंदन नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. We are not welcoming the present. वही शायद आपके सिपाही का नाम भी है हीरो का,
अभिनंदन वर्तमान.
Yes, so we have to welcome the present.
Right.
And look, which is eternal, it will reveal itself to you if you are following it right way. Because it cannot run away. Truth has no place to run away. You have a place to run away from truth.
So that's very interesting. Friends, I should share one thing, like as a journalist, I've seen Sir, and he would tell journalists always should ask 5 questions. And now as a seeker, when I'm sitting here telling you should have 6 questions. So that's an add-on for me. Thank you for that. So one important thing, Guruji, you said right now, the character part of it, what you said. Even irrespective of the knowledge, information or whatever, the character is so important. The interesting thing I feel here, even when we talk about Ashtang Yoga, the basic thing, yam, we start off, character building, that's the most important thing, right? And in fact, again, I take this premise to ask you, Guruji, that Ashtang Yoga, again, of course, is the base of whatever we have. And of course, nowadays, with this thing, fancy names to yoga. You have power yoga, you have, in the Western countries, you have many, many different hot yoga and God knows what all names to it. But now coming back to it, I want to ask a very simple thing, Sahaj Smriti Yoga. So please, I want to know from you, like, how is it different from the different fancy yogas we know?
See, as I said, that there is a time for everything. That human beings, we all living in a times, another name for time is consciousness. Many of you may have seen during Mahashivaratri episode when they were running, there used to come a voice over, it will say, Main samay hu, I am the time. So time's another name is consciousness. So when we as human beings, we are living in a time, almost our consciousnesses are on the same level. There is not much difference between any of us. They are on the same level. So to reach the divinity, one's own divinity, awakening as you say, we have little distance to travel from that consciousness. So for that consciousness, a path has to be devised.
Okay.
That at this particular time, now people, most of you are working in offices. Can you even imagine to follow what your ancestors followed, doing havan every morning, doing this ritual and that? You can't do. You have very limited time. So a path has to be devised by which you can attain to the same reality which is eternal, even while you are living your contemporary life. That is where the role of Sahaj Smriti Yoga comes. So it is, as we say, it is for householders. You can do all your work. There is nothing taboo in there, we are saying. So, and it living in comfort of your home, you can reach to the same reality which your ancestors reached, or you say in another form you have reached earlier, but you have forgotten. So the word Sahaj Smriti Yoga, as we say in Sanskrit, the words are self-explanatory. Sahaj means spontaneous.
Spontaneous.
What is spontaneous? That is Sahaj. It is a translation that which
Easy.
comes
It's simple,
simple,
easy,
simple,
spontaneous.
easily. It comes naturally to you. So Smriti means remembrance. So you have forgotten, as I said in the beginning, that we all are essentially divine beings. Please do not imagine it, it is reality. And that is what which I say 12, 12 these formulae I have given, a Upanishad I call that these made 12 months, 12 sayings, sort of some formulae, a 12 formulae Upanishad. So that by what it says that you can remember that you are essentially divine. As I am saying, no, you are essentially divine, you are undergoing a human experience. So do not take it as an imagination, it is a reality. And this reality has been explained in those 12 points, that how you are divine and how you are undergoing a human experience. And how can again you remember that you are essentially divine. Smriti Yoga, Yoga means union with that, who you really are. As he asked in the beginning, who am I? So who you really are, remembering that spontaneously, the path which leads you spontaneously to remember who you really are is Sahaj Smriti Yoga. So this is, because if I start explaining will time. So in nutshell, this is what Sahaj Smriti Yoga in today's lifestyle, not needing much change, you can all can follow it, and this is how it is. But this is where it hangs, that because of this drishti, because drishti is very important. From the light we are seeing mostly ourselves as human beings, and that is where the misery begins, because if you have assumed yourself which you are not, then in mathematics even you will prove things wrong. If your assumption is wrong, so your assumption has to be correct, what it is. And then you can decipher, come down, and you know how human being you are. So then you will be a better human being. But here what one your assumption is that I am a human being, then possibility is you go down only. Because your goal is already you have set, that beyond this there is nothing.
So you mean to say, Guruji, yoga, like this is a particular path where people who are trying to seek or get into the higher dimension of whatever they are, this is one of the pathways that can lead them to the ultimate seeking what they are doing? Or
you said one of the, but I say this is the path, because any path
okay.
you
Right.
call, it has to be spontaneous.
Right.
So this is the path for this time that will make our union very spontaneous.
Right. So union, you say yoga, that is a
Yes.
keyword, right? That is a keyword. So Guruji, now we come to the next thing, because each one of us, if I just look around, each person, the quest is there. They know that something within them is not what they are. They're not comfortable within their physical, let's say physical boundaries or whatever. They want to get something higher or better, or the comparative relative scale much more. But at the same time, they know within themselves there is something which is shallow or empty.
Correct.
Okay, so first of all, they don't even know what they're seeking.
Yes.
Right? So now let's coming to the point here. Okay, first I think it's essential for them to realize that they do not have what they are seeking. They do not know what they are seeking. So where again can the journey begin for them?
Yes. So wherever you are, see, this is settled. Now if you do not see it that way, then you are not trusting the person. Then no point in listening. If somebody is telling that you are basically same what I am, who I am, you are divine, therefore I am divine. It is other way around. So wherever we are, we have to this muddying of the mind is that we have not seen this clearly, that there are 4 stages: mind, self, body, mind, self and soul. How many of you are aware, we are not told this, that self and soul are very different fields. We mostly speak in English self-realization. We don't say self-realization. It is not the literal translation. In Sanskrit or Hindi or Indian languages, we see Atma Sakshatkar. Swa Sakshatkar we do not say generally. But in English we say self-realization, because what they mean, English language means by soul is entirely different, which is not Atma. So mostly our mind is muddied, because we assume that this is the last thing, and which is not last. So when you are not giving a chance that you have verily mastered within, if you give it a chance to flourish, so then you will start looking at mind from yourself, that how my mind is functioning. We say this word in our literature, that body, mind, self and soul. This is because it is being told in English.
Right.
If it was in Hindi, I say not mind, I will use the word chitta.
Chit.
Because mind is one component of the chitta.
Right.
Memory, ego, intelligence, mind. Memory, ego, intelligence, mind. These four are components of chitta, because mind being prominent, common among all, to connect one another we say mind, otherwise it is chitta. So if we realize this, that what is muddying them is one of these component is not functioning well. Intelligence role is to make things clear, decision making.
Okay.
This is this and this is not this.
Right.
So either that is not working,
Okay.
or their memory, Smriti Bhransa,
Okay.
in Smriti Bhransat Buddhinasha. The memory is not working clearly, then this you cannot make clear decision.
Right.
So either this is not working, or your false ego has come to play, that you know everything, still you are holding on to, because you take some pleasure out of doing something wrong to others, or just making somebody go hither thither. So when you are giving this, you will receive that, not that time later. So people are perturbed because they have no clarity.
Absolutely.
So once they become seeker, then within themselves they find those avenues of self-correction. When they reach to the stage of self, they can see their chitta operating, that which component is going haywire. Because they have come to know that neither I am body nor I am mind, I am verily self. So when you are not this, then what is your role? Like a parent, yourself start nourishing your mind and body. So they say in Ayurveda, they say self-healing. Most of the yogis, they heal themselves without any medication. They just sit in meditation and come back, but they are very attained and gone deeper into that dimension. So this can be done. So their mind is muddied.
Okay.
But if they give a chance to themselves, seek somewhere in the right place, then they will be clear and they will be in a position to see what is really, because this is the last thing, how to see. तत्पदम दर्शितमेन, दर्शन कौन कराएगा, दिखाएगा कौन, कि ऐसे देखो, यहां से देखो तो सही पिक्चर दिखेगी. So this is important. This seeing word, I say, I have defined you truth, but if you, my incapacity is I cannot define you what is seeing. I can't tell, and I say none can tell what is seeing, because it is transforming in every stage, where it becomes darshan. You become verily incapable of seeing anything. So seeing cannot be defined, truth can be defined. That is why we go to the Guru for seeing, how to see. श्री गुरु पदनख मणिगण ज्योति सुमरत दिव्य दृष्टि ही होती, तलन मोहितम शोष प्रकाशु बड़े भाग और आवे जासु, उघरई विमल बिलोचन ही के मिटई दोष दुख भाव रजनी के. These three things define very clearly. that what is Guru, what happens with the Guru, he gives you vision so that your eyes of your heart is opened. Then your all miseries as you are seeing that people are muddied out will go. When you look at the world from the right place, where is the right place? Your heart, not your head. Your head is just to clear things that this is human being, this is chair. But you have to deal with human being or with chair, it's your heart.
Absolutely.
So, from heart, if you see, then all these miseries will go, and that is the role of the Guru. So, as he said in the beginning, it will come back to the same because truth is only one. Satyamekam vipra bahuda vadanti. 10,000 ways we can say, but it comes boiled down to the same thing. If you open your heart to someone you find worth opening up to, then your vision is opened and then you are as empowered. You are verily him walking. You are your guru walking in another appearance. That is how the Sankara says, जीव और ब्रह्म एक ही है, शिव और जीव एक ही है. They are verily same. चिदानंद रूपाय शिवोहम शिवोहम. So, from realization point of view, we all are originating from the same divine. We are verily one only. But the one who has seen that way, if we sit with that person, then we also start seeing that way. And that all those miseries and all things go. And that is where all these things, Shok, Moh, Sandeh, will be over. When your illusion is over, your doubt is over, your this anxiety is over, distress is over, illusion, everything is over, then you are a happy soul. Chidanand ho gaya. So, as he said, it is not against science or something. There is a stage. We have 16 seats. We are told only 5. We are told only that this is Annamaya course, there you have Pranamaya course, there is Manomaya course, Vigyanmaya course, Anandmaya course. These are only 5. You have 16. 11 more. So, even if you reach till the 5th, you become a human being. When you become happy, take it from me. If you find yourself any moment in your life really exalted, ecstatic, you are verily walking Bhagavan on this earth. I used deliberately the word Bhagavan.
Right.
So you are, if you are in that condition, suppose if you all the time in are that, then they start calling you incarnation.
So that's the Anand you're talking about, the happiness, the joy, the blissful state.
Yes, if you have reached to that Prashanna Chitte Paramatma Darshanam. If you are, your Chitta is Prashanna, happy, peaceful. When you are peaceful, then only you can be happy. So, when you are happy, ecstatic, you are verily in that consciousness higher. This I have told so many times, if you can dwell in higher ideas, still you are moving towards spirituality. No sadhana, nothing else is needed. From this also you can begin. Right. So, this way, path is set.
That's really nice. In fact, I'm sure I'm going to throw the floor open for the questions. But before that, one last thing I want to ask Guruji is, what should be the takeaway for us today? Now we have realized so many things, so many dimensions have opened up today. In fact, lots of food for thought is there. In fact, today the whole night I'm going to sit and think about the dialogue we have had. In fact, that's going to be my takeaway. But what should be the takeaway? What's one thing you would like to say that, yeah, let's ponder upon for all of us?
See, during this conversation, I have thrown certain tentacles, and you people would have received according to your heart that this is the point from where I should move on. So, just I am saying these 3 things you can take, which I can say for sure that human frame, it's not that your karma gave you. This I am telling you. Perhaps you may have heard or not. Your karma may give you birth and that will definitely give. But human frame is given by divinity. किसी की करुणा ने आपको human frame दिया है. That through this body I should realize this through this body, God want to realize himself. Kabohuk kar karuna nardehi det ish bin het sanehi. Sometimes when he is pleased, compassionate, then he said, Diya tumko, jao, I have given early. That I have limited time to realize that which is unlimited. And this is the frame, this is one. And only this thing is required, your inclination. And then automatically you will reach to your Guru. That is how. So this is one thing I would like to say. Another thing about our tradition, because today is Shivaratri and we have not spoken a word about it. We have gathered on this, so 2-3 minutes I will take on that. See, in Sanskrit, every word is self-explanatory. There are stories, if you come to the form, then you have stories. Then when the Shiva danced, Shiva, you anchor Doordarshan programs, you know well that caption comes there, Satyam Shivam Sundaram.
Yes.
It comes there. Very wise person, somebody gave it that. Those are 3 words saying the same thing. As if you go by my definition, I say truth is, which is eternal. And Shiva is verily eternal. Word meaning of the Shiva in Sanskrit is, if you translate in English, it becomes eternal, the one who is always there. So truth is all the one that is always there, and that always is there is very beautiful. Now why we are seeing that it is not beautiful? Because we are not seeing it from that point from where I should see. If we see it from that point, then this world will appear like Shiva's Bharat. What was in Shiva's marriage party? I am speaking about form now, then I will speak little about formless Shiva. He is both form and formless. So this is in his marriage party, Kaumukhin Vipul Mukkahu. Few have no mouth, others have so many mouths. Some has hands, some has no hands. And they all are ecstatic in his company because he sees beautiful. To him, nobody appears deformed. It is his creation. So they, in his company, they are also exalted. So Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. This is 3 words, but only one thing. That truth is eternal. It is very beautiful. So Shivaratri means Shiva story is one, that he got married at this night, one story. That suits very well for the Grihasthas, especially Kashmir part, they celebrate that Shiva married at this day. Then there is another that he gave sermons to his disciples, he initiated them. So Dakshinamurti here in South, all of you know that he is adored as Dakshinamurti, the Guru, eternal Guru. Then there is that this is the day when he drank that halahal. So again, life saver, life giver to the people, saving whole creation. So all these creation. Then there is that he, in the beginning, he danced on this day. So very beautiful again, that story is there. And in the beginning, very beginning, when the creation was not there, formless thing, that also has a Shivaratri. And that was the time when 3 were created. Brahma and Vishnu, and he of course was there. The eternal one was there, but these 2 were created out of that. So when they were created, clash of ego. They said, I am greater than you. Brahma says, I am greater. Vishnu says, I am greater. Then how to decide? So that day, he again appeared as a pillar of light, you can say. And he said, whosoever fathoms this is higher. Both of them, of course, couldn't fathom. But one of them lied, and others, Vishnu said clearly, I could not fathom. I could not go. Brahma says, no, I fathomed. I have seen that. Then he said, you have lied, so you will not be worshipped. Because you are meek, so people will worship you. So we worship preservers, creators today. If you look at any writer, any kalakar today also, they are in penury. They are not, their things are taken, but they are not given anything so much in return. But preservers, managers, they are well taken care of. So that operates in every sense. So that was when forms were not there. They was formless. That is also Shivaratri. Now come to the word meaning of the Shivaratri. Shiva means the eternal one. And Ratri we refer to the darkness. So during the darkness, in the beginning, now also scientists discover whatever they have discovered, that most of the part is not lit, it is dark.
Yes.
So when it was totally dark, when that who was there, that is Shivaratri. So it is basically him. Now little bit practical for the life, that if you look at your body, then it has some, most of it is composed of water, and planetary position is such, you know, that moon and sea relationship, that it brings body in a semblance to meditate better. If you want to, what do you do in meditation? You wait to transcend. So chances of transcendence are more on this day. This is the physical relevance of this. But these we can keep going on and on. There is no end because it is eternal and his stories are eternal. So little bit of it. So that is why we call this Mahashivaratri, because this falls once in a year, and otherwise you have on every month before a full moon day you have that Shivaratri. So in that order.
So beautifully explained, Guruji. Thank you, because it's a beautiful dimension what you said, the scientific and the spiritual dimension and the practical part of it. That's amazing. So now, friends, I'm sure you all have many questions, and as seekers, you would like to ask. So the floor is open. Please take your chance and let the quest begin. Who would like to take the first question? Yes, please.
Yeah, that's okay.
Namaste. Yes.
When do we come to know that we are realizing? Whether I can say that I am realizing, because we don't get anybody who tells that I am realizing.
Yes.
It's a nice question.
Yes,
Yes.
When you, realization is mirroring. So factually, when you are realized, you cannot tell.
You cannot?
If I say that I am realized, then be 100% sure, close your eyes and go away from the hall. So a realized person, who will say that I am realized? That means I is still left. So realization cannot, you can't say, it only mirrors. That you go to somebody, then he finds that you are realized, because he sees reflection of the same divinity in you, and then he realizes that you are realized. He does not realize this, he sees that you are realized. This is how it works.
You mean to say the realization is a process or the destination? Or is it a stage? What is it?
It is
Process?
all rolled in one.
Okay.
Darshan, drashta, drishti, drash, when all become one. So when you are not reached to that, you have not hit that point.
Okay.
Till then it is a process, you will call. That you are, there are two terms generally we refer, yoga ruh and yoga ruh. Yoga ruh we call the sis who is beginning on that path. Yoga ruh means he has attained.
Arud.
Arud, he is on. Like Shiva is again Arud on bull. Bull is basically dharma. Generally, we go for the dharma, he is other way around. Dharma is below, he is up. Because he is eternal, because of him dharma is there.
Right.
So here process, realization is a process till journey is there. Once the journey has become a stage,
Right.
then it has become real. So this is first sutra which is given our Upanishad, that divinity is real. It begins with this. First, which Upanishad I am referring of 12 formula. This is first one. Divinity is real. So real, they are verily synonymous. But yes, every word has it a meaning.
Okay.
So यहाँ we say in Sanskrit, Atma. So word Atma is there, that Atma. Now Atma cannot be seen, that you know very well. But look at the second word, Sakshat. He said with eyes. Akshi means eyes. With these eyes you see the soul. First thing they say, soul you can't see. Then second, Atma Sakshatkar, you see the soul. That is where I am saying I cannot define the seeing. You can only see. One can make you see but cannot define. So Atma Sakshatkar is that with those eyes, Sa is referred to that. Because if Sanskrit language is such, if you keep making it Sandhi Vichhed, every syllable, when you reach to a single word, every single word has infinite meanings. Forget about the words. If only Ka I have to define, I can tell you numerous meanings. Only Sa if I have to define. So instead of going horizontally, just take the meaningful things, what works for us. Sakshatkar means Sa means that. If you see with that's eye, the soul, then only you can see the soul. So their seeing is not this physical seeing. So when you see with that eyes, then what becomes? So janahu jehi dehi janai or jana tumai hoi jai. He only can know you whom you are willing that he should know you, and by knowing him you become him. So then who will say I am realized and that is realized? Only other one case are you are realized. I is not there. If I is there, then realization is not there.
So here the keyword becomes the merging part of it, right?
Laya, yes.
Laya, okay. So that's a nice thing. Thank you so much. Hope you got the thing what you're seeking and asking. And yes, can be, yes.
Mahabharata
Yeah.
has been a great, teaching experience for us as of date also. And if I can relate to our present experience, this India-Pakistan, what is going on, playing on my mind a big way. I'm sure for a lot of people.
Yes.
And I consider it as like a modern day Mahabharata. So if you can look at so many lessons, like I'm trying to understand this particular chapter. Our pilot is doing a great job. He shot the enemy, but then he lands in the enemy's camp. But then every point of his capture, he is showing character. He is showing character. He is showing so much of resilience, emotionally powerful, and everything powerful about him. So what is that makes a person of such a character? What is in him that makes him?
It is, as we say in the beginning, that in this land, the ones who are born in this land, they are fortunate. And how much fortunate they are, if they realize even iota of this. Because they say, no, you keep singing your glory. How much glory we are singing ours? That is the first thing we are not doing. We are not singing our real glory. And now the generation is not even qualified to sing the glory because they do not know what our past is. So what makes it so powerful, composed individual, well-rounded individual is verily first thing is the mother of this land. Because it is in this land that a mother makes a divine being appear as human and makes a human being reach to the divinity. It is the power of the mother of this land. That is why we called it Bharat Mata.
Thanks. Very nice. Very nice.
And if you look at the meaning of the word Bharat, we call our country Bharat Varsh. Bha means Bhaskar, Bhanu, Prakash, the one who gives light. Rat means engaged. You कहते हैं रति है, बड़ी रति है. So the one who is eternally engaged in light. So one day I had given this my discourse that anybody born anywhere who is enlightened, he is Bharatvashi. Because this is how this land is. So this comes with birth. Only if little bit you learn your past, that what your real eternal history is, your confidence will know no bounds. And that is why we all called Vishwaguru, not for nothing. But there is a rider today, as you say, in today's world, but that is the very note on which Gita ends. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, number 1. Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, number 2. Tatra Sri Vijayo Dhruvo Nitir Matir Mam, last sloka. Where the Yogeshwara Krishna means knowledge, a realized master guru is there. And Dhanurdhara Krishna is also necessary, that you should, your warfare should be of that impeccable order that you can take on any country in the world. So if both union is there, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Sri Vijayo, there the victory is certain. Dhruvo, Dhruv we call the one star which never goes. It is definite that you will be victorious. Nitir Matirmam, declares Krishna. Ye mera niti hai and this is my understanding. Says Sanjay, through Sanjay he. Sanjay is again Divya Drishti he has been given, so he is saying verily what he is supposed to say. So this is class of identity. If you be from that point of view, we have forgotten our real identity, and identities are different. As an individual, you are only divine, you have only one relationship, then you are a family man, then you are a country, you are a national, then you are a, as you said, Vasudha Kutumbakam. But you cannot fight with another identity. If somebody is taking you as a nation and you say, no, I am Vasudha Kutumbakam. No, if a spiritual master, he may not say anything, but if you give him a gun and go to the war, he will readily go and start shooting. That is what whole Sikh parampara is. Gurus wielded the weapon as well as the knowledge both, because that was the requirement of the time. So this country knows this combination well. Only thing now missing is this. Fortunately, now people are coming back to that. But remember, do not become victim of the history. Just remember what happened. Do not become victim of it. Not revengeful. Vartaman ka abhinandan kijiye. Be in the present. Learn from the history what is there, but apply in the present. No hatred with anyone, but be powerful. Be an empowered individual. Only an empowered individuals, a company of if there are so many empowered individuals, all become individual and enlightened. As the Bharat, if they become, then Bharat versus number one, who can take our place from us on this earth. This is your glory. This is what you are. But unfortunately, if we lower down ourselves and start looking from the foreign eye at ourselves, then they have done it with intention. When the Britishers had to rule, they did it intentionally. That your knowledge is inferior, then only you can let them rule whose knowledge is superior. But you woke up and say, no, my knowledge is superior. Yours is not. You see it in proper light. Then you are fit to rule. So, this is the
Guruji, can I take the liberty of just sharing one small thing, since this particular topic was on. As we all are aware that we are celebrating 150 years of the Mahatma, this 150th year, and our government, they have declared one thing which I was not, in fact Doordarshan anchoring the program on Gandhi Jayanti got to know, that Gandhiji had many things of non-violence, satya, ahimsa, everything, but there was one very powerful sutra which he believed in, and which I think it was not spoken about much, and that was nidarta. And he mentioned always that everything else is fine, why non-violence, everything, but nidar hona bahut zaruri hai. And to be nidar, whatever is required, I think that's what Gandhiji had said, that nidarta. So to make a nation nidar, whatever steps have to be taken should be taken. That's what he meant. So I'm sorry, but that was a premise.
No, that is very right. As I keep saying this repeatedly, that is true. You are saying it correct. Fearless, being fearless is very high stage, and that is very much required. First, only if you are clear, your heart is clear, your mind is clear, your conscience is clear, then only you can be fearless. That is very high stage. This is in fact one of the last things which remains. If your fear is gone, And there is a condition given. It is, because he mentioned Mahabharata, I am quoting from Ramayana. When Ram was about to break that Shiva Dhanus during this condition was given, Sita Swayamvar, then that time he told this very clearly to Parasuram, because Parasuram was another incarnation. But to make him realize that who I am, there was a transfer of power happening, transfer of role rather. Now I have to take over, your time is over. So he verily speaks in a very subtle language, and he bows down to him because he is in a Brahmin's role. And Brahmin's role was, Brahma is the one who knows the Brahman. So that is verily. So he says, and he was a Kshatriya. His was warrior role. So he says, Abhay hoye jo tumhe darai. Means the one who is bowing down to you, you are the truth. See, if you bow down to the truth, your status increases. आपकी शोभा बढ़ती है. और आप झूठ के सामने झुको तो आपकी शोभा घटती है. तो ही सेज आपको एक सामने झुकने से तो मेरी शोभा बढ़ती है. अभय होए जो तुम्हें डराए. So I can be only fearless when I am afraid of you. Verily, just contradiction in speaking language. If I am afraid of you, then only I am fearless. So he is verily saying that if I am going down to the truth, to the reality, then only I can be fearless. So this is very important, because this so many things which this division happen, if we go on that topic, will change. Why this happened? That one man was not really fearless, though he was speaking about the fearlessness, and so much responsibility was on his shoulders. But he was dwarfed by something, because he could not decipher what is ahimsa really. Though Satya and ahimsa he says so many times, but he personally could not understand what really ahimsa is. And ahimsa is very simple. It is individual thing. Your capacity to take pain. If you take less than that, you are hinsak. If you take more than that, you are hinsak. In one instance for the other, in one instance for yourself. But whether it is for self, you can't, it is not that no, myself I can do anything. It is wrong. You are also creation of the God. You can't do anything wrong to yourself. Nobody has given you that right. Neither you can do to the other. So balance. Ahimsa is one's individual capacity. It is not a mass reality. You cannot impose my ahimsa to you. Suppose there is a Gama Pahalwan. Even if you beat him 10 times, he will laugh. And there is a person like me, if you beat very harshly, I say don't beat that much. So, capacity to take. So, he could not decipher non-violence, though he was preaching. Otherwise, there would not have been Pakistan.
Correct.
It would have been a single country. And now that is why this all is trouble is coming there. That so many voices. These days, if you are not composed, the kind of WhatsApp you get during this war time, you know what is being thrown onto you.
Yes.
Only if people see clearly how it happens, what is fearlessness, if they reach to that, oh, that is the most valuable virtue, if you could become rightly fearless.
Fearless.
Very good, very good.
Anyone else? Any question? So yeah, the question, the mic to her.
What is the BP?
Yes. Probably we can take a last question now.
No problem. You can question. You can take.
Yeah, that's what we can take a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which? Yeah, good. Yes. It is spiritual side. It is verily the answer. That is why it comes in the form of question, but it is verily the answer. Okay. So you go for looking an orchard. I am giving you a very material example. You don't know where the orchard is. but you are very firm that no, I have to reach the orchard, and you know the qualities that there will be trees, fruitful trees, all these things will be there, and that is the place. So now, because conviction is clear, your determination is firm, you are truly seeking an orchard, nobody can stop you from reaching the orchard because you are truly seeking. Truth comes to them who seek it truly, it doesn't come to everyone. Your process has to be truthful, then only it will come to you. So, truly you are seeking an orchard, you will reach to the orchard. Now, when you have reached to the orchard and your dear ones call, where are you? With whom? Which orchard you are? So you will tell that this is the orchard I am. So when you reach there, then you know which one.
So which is, and like to extend the thing what she has said, Guruji, which is like when you have two similar things and out of both you are choosing one out of the two, which one you choose? So is that the way it is?
When you have become empowered,
Yes.
To choose
Yes.
and clear with your vision,
Right.
then what you choose,
Okay.
which one you choose, all these are forms of divine.
Right. Yes.
Now you have to walk with one person,
Right.
all are divine,
Right. Yes.
you choose one.
Okay, so the
That-
which one
which
I choose
one you
is that.
choose.
Again, so that depends upon the
Yeah,
answer which
yeah.
I take.
So
from
here
within.
in realization, when you reached,
Right.
so then it is like you have reached, so you know, oh, this one.
Absolutely, I get that. Which, okay, right. So I'm sure this, at least for me, has been very empowering, enlightening, and it's been a very beautiful thing. Of course, it was just conversation right now. I've heard a lot, I have listened to you, but I think a lot to introspect, chintan manan baki hai, and I'm sure the whole night I'm going to do it. But friends, as much as I enjoyed and let's say cherished it, I'm sure you all must have done it. So let's clap it up for Guruji who has shared his valuable knowledge with us today. Thank you so much, Guruji.
You have been a wonderful audience, and as I say, that there is a saying that Srota Sumati Suchi Katha Rasik Haridas. If what is the quality of the
Audience.
listeners, audience, Srota Sumati, their wisdom, they should be wise. Sumati, Susil, their character should be good. Katharasik, and they should be they should have inclination towards divinity, their own divinity. Katharasik Haridas, and they are considering themselves, I am verily from the same divine, but smaller of the bigger. So Das we call that is also same, and I am also same, but I am small, he is big. That's all. So when such audience is there, then Shiva is telling to Parvati that this Pai Uma Ati Gopyamapi Sajjan Karahi Prakash. When such audience is there, then something which is even very mysterious, they will try to reveal it to you as much as possible. So generally this is what it should happen in a satsang, and that is what I will say for this audience. I will quote again Yagvalk's word. He says when he was in communion with Bharadwaj, he says, Te Srota Bhakta Samsila, Samdarsi Janai Hari Leela. The audience and the speaker, they were equally enlightened. So they know what they are speaking. So many questions I know you have put for others' benefits, and that is how all began. Parvati asked to the Shiva for others' benefit. She is part of him. Doesn't she know anything what he knows? She is asking, finding the time that it will benefit the whole humanity. So like you people, those may not be your questions, but for the welfare of others, you have raised those questions. That vibration will remain in the air, in our hearts, that will vibrate, reverberate there. Because they say, na, what is satsang is verily fruit. Everything else is not fruit. Sat sangati mud mangal moola, swai fal siddhi sab sadhan phula. Only satsang is fruit. Everything else is either a means to reach it or it's a flower. All our siddhi, you have got something or something, that is all flower. What is the difference between fruit and flower? You know it very well. Fruit contains
Seeds.
whole tree into it.
Yes.
So many trees at
So many
times. Some
trees.
fruits have only one, at
Seed.
least one seed.
Yes.
But fruits generally contain so many seeds. So tentacles have gone into your heart. So many seeds. You can sprout in numerous ways. You can grow in a big tree, huge tree. That is the role of the satsang. So only in satsang, only those can reach whom he is willing. So we are fortunate that we could be in satsang for some time. That is why I say it is luxury. In this apartment only, so many people are there. But whom he is choosing, they only could attend. And you people have come from so far places. So it is clearly his design. And we are just means to let it flourish through us. And thank you, Deepti ji. You are so well versed in talking, and you keep organizing
I've learned
such
it from
things.
you, sir.
Yeah, and you are anchoring so many shows I have seen. You have been doing for art people and all. And I have seen in television sometimes that you keep doing. So
With your
I'm very happy.
blessings.
Yeah.
And so let's sign it off telling that this is just series just begin. I'm sure we have many more to come. Thank you for that.
Thank
you
you.
all.
After these words, the long will in our hearts, in our minds. Yet I am here to give the vote of thanks. They say that proximity to a guru is itself rare. We are blessed to be part of this unique Upanishad experience. A hearty thanks to Sheetal for entering this spontaneous dialogue. I am sure it has inspired all of us to inquire and to seek. This series has been made possible only by the presence of Darpan's extended family. You, the audience. We need not go into thanking Darpan's core team, for they have received much more than they have contributed. We want you to not break this link. This is an opportunity for all of you to continue to remain linked with Darpan. Possibilities are immense. I'm just mentioning a few. Be a part of Sunday satsangs, ashram visits, sponsor a field, sponsor teachers, facilitate education. I request you to take a moment at the feedback desk where our associates will provide you details about the various activities of Darpan Ashram and also about how you can participate with Darpan. Thank you so much for today.